All right, you are looking at the Ultimates Avengers Captain America figure. This is not a standard 6-inch figure. This is more like a 4-inch figure. There's a couple reviews on YouTube regarding this figure. I'm going to link to them in my description site, but I've linked to them because they bring up a couple of points about this figure. This is actually a mixed bag. For example, I'm going to touch very briefly on this one, but the shield, you can see there's like a little seam in the middle of it. The reason there's a seam is because this is supposed to part in half, and there are these blades that come out of it. You see it? And you got these little handles that are supposed to push the blade out on each end. This splits in half, and each half goes into, each hand of Captain America. Message to Hasbro: any gimmick attempted on Captain America's shield is a stupid gimmick. Okay, it's a very stupid gimmick. Captain America's shield serves as just being a shield, and the image itself is iconic. It doesn't need any gimmicks. The shield should remain the shield. A lot of YouTube reviewers who reviewed this particular figure have addressed that point and made it clear that the shield gimmick is stupid. So if you're listening, Hasbro, it's a stupid gimmick. Don't attempt any more gimmicks. Now, what I did with this shield was I crazy glued the handle. I don't know if you can see the glue stains on there, but you can catch it right there. I crazy glued the handles on place because I didn't want to really mutilate the shield, because this was given to me as a Christmas gift. I was thinking about cutting the blades off, but if you can see, had I cut the blades off, there would have been a very ugly space between each end of the shield. It would have looked very ugly with that little cavity right there. So I didn't want to cut the blades out of there. So I just crazy glued them in place, so at least that way the volume is intact. I crazy glued the two halves together, so now you just have one solid piece. So now when I put the shield back on Captain America's hand, now you don't got to worry about, the blades coming out, because they're not very stable when you put them in. They just come in and out. But one thing I'll say about this shield, it has a very nice chrome look to it, so when the light shines on it, it looks like real metal. I know that in the comics it's made out of adamantium, which is what Wolverine's endoskeleton is made out of. And if you ever see the Captain America First Avengers movie, they didn't mention that because of rights issues with 20th Century Fox and the X-Men movie, so they couldn't bring up the fact that it was made out of adamantium. But in the comics, that's what it is. It's adamantium. But the chrome finish on the shield toy looks very impressive, at least. So I'll give it that. As for the sculpt itself, it's a very good sculpt, this Captain America figure. It's very detailed on his outfit and the texture. The paint job is very good on this, the red, white, and blue. If you look at the belt, very nice sculpting on the belt. And the boots have also very nice sculpting too. It's a very detailed figure, very detailed. It does give you some problems standing up, so it's not a very stable figure, unfortunately. I tried to pose it a certain way, and that's the other thing. It's not very stable when you try to pose it. The legs seem to have to be positioned in a certain way, and it doesn't give you any real options as far as keeping it stable. So, unfortunately, it doesn't stand well. Now the shield can come off. It comes off, and there's a hole in the back of Captain America. And the shield has if you bring down the hook, has a little, I guess you can call it a stub or whatever, that connects to the back of him, like that. That way, if you ever see the film, you see him walking around with the shield behind his back, it emulates that. So now you can copy the film where he's walking around with the shield behind his back. Like I said, the paint job is great on this figure. The sculpting is very good, nice detail. Paint job is very clean. Nice, yeah, everything around it is pretty good. It's just not a stable looking figure. It feels just like where it was made from China. Has a very cheap, made in China bootleg feel to it. So that's the only drawback to it. Now, I like this figure because the coloring is good, and it looks like a very nice Captain America figure. However, if you own a Captain America figure from another Marvel's line, whether it's 6 inches or above, if you have that kind of Captain America figure, then I wouldn't recommend this Captain America figure, only because there's nothing about this particular figure that would add to your collection. If you already have another Captain America figure from the movie line, chances are it's probably a more superior figure than this one. So I wouldn't recommend this toy. if you already own a Captain America figure. If you don't own a Captain America figure and you're not trying to break the bank, yeah, this is probably a good way to start. But, you know, you could always go and get the 6-inch line or what have you and just get a better figure. I would give this figure maybe a 7 out of 10. And that's probably a generous rating because, again, the sculpting is good, the painting is good. It's just not a very stable figure. It's very soft. The shield has a very stupid gimmick, which in my case it was very easily remedied. But it doesn't stand well either. So you kind of have problems trying to stand it up because the legs don't really pose in a way that allow you to stand it up. So that's my rating. Captain America is a very, very popular character. I like the character. If you saw the Avengers film, Captain America has a great line in that film. When Loki is captured by Thor and Iron Man goes after them to battle Thor. This is in the scene where they're on the plane. Captain America grabs a parachute, and there's a lady, I don't know if it's Black Widow or somebody else, but they say to him that he shouldn't go after them because they're gods. And then he turns to the lady and he says, "Ma'am, there's only one God, and he don't dress like that."